Judge is a better version of Brock Lesnar.
What is something you love as much as the Charmin Bears love wiping?
As an opposing fan, you'd probably see his face and want to sock him between the cracks. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Losses Above Replacement, the greatest baseball podcast. 2 great years. I'm today's host, Mathias Kurosaki, and with me, as always, we have my two interim coaches over here, Alex Clark and Ryan Splashpots. Gentlemen, first things first, as we begin every show, how are we doing on this fine Wednesday evening?
I mean, I'm really glad to hear, that I'm going to be the new interim manager of the Philadelphia Phillies. It is very interesting to see, that I will be leading such amazing talents, such as Bryce Harper, to the promised land here of the NL East. Neither of you guys could obviously be, the manager for the Phillies because one of you is the Mets guy, one of you is the Braves guy. So obviously it means I have to be the Phillies guy.
Excuse me. I am, in fact, the Phillies' next manager. Don Mattingly does not exist. I am the Phillies' next manager. I even have a Philadelphia hat. You're
going to get rid of your Braves association to be the Phillies' next manager.
Hey, I mean, Don Mattingly was a coach for the Toronto Blue Jays 6 months ago. So I'm just saying. I have a hat with the Philly Fanatic on it if you want me to break it out.
It's a.
I mean, if you wouldn't it be like the ultimate swerve to then have Jason Varitek be the manager of the Phillies after leaving the Red Sox?
I mean, yeah. Varitek was reassigned actually.
Oh, he was reassigned. Oh,
okay. I know. He. It's kind of a tough thing, and we'll get into that in a second. But it's kind of hard to, hire. It's tough when you hire a fan favorite and then have to fire him. It's, obviously Varitek being a team captain and being with the Red Sox for 30 years, it's kind of a lot. But yeah, I'm doing all right. I'm flying to North Carolina, Greensboro. By the way, that's actually a pretty cool hat. As a non-Phillies fan, that's the one acceptable Phillies hat, I think.
Yeah, and you can see I still have the stickers on it. I've never worn it.
Yeah, I wouldn't bet on a Braves fan wearing that thing.
No, if we have a gimmick, maybe I'll consider it, or if I lose a bet or something. But I don't have Phillies fans in my life to lose bets with. Although the Braves head out to play the Dodgers in a couple weeks, I'm betting a hat with my boss. Whoever wins the series, they get a hat from Lids. So
okay, that's actually a reasonable.
I dig that.
I think we had that in a fantasy baseball league I did one year, where the winner gets a something type of merchandise from whoever comes in last. And I think that's actually totally fair.
I had a fantasy football league that was like that years ago, where it was the year that the Seahawks made the Super Bowl, and the league concluded, of course, before the playoffs here. And so when they bought the merch for me, it was before they had made it to the Super Bowl. It was when they had just won the division. So I have a division
champs,
a division champs shirt that is no longer with us, shall we say. Wore that thing out.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I fully support those type of fantasy things. Nothing too outrageous there. But yeah, like I was saying, I have a flight at about 8:45 a.m. So I'll be getting up at the crack of dawn tomorrow, going out to North Carolina for Nationals. Greensboro specifically, I don't really know this town very well. It seems like it's in the northwestern part of the state, about an hour from Raleigh. So that'll be fun. Yeah, exactly. How'd you know? Well, Cal Raleigh is from North Carolina.
Yes, that was half of the joke.
Yeah. But yeah. Anyways, like we were talking about in the intro, there were two managers who lost their jobs since the last time we recorded. Alex Cora and basically his entire coaching staff, other than Andrew Bailey and his first base coach, they all lost their jobs. All were fired on Saturday. And then the one that I think was more surprising to me was on Monday when the Phillies fired Rob Thompson. Yeah. Both teams are off to bad starts. I understand it. Let's go into this one here. I mean, what are your guys' thoughts here? It's April, and we've already had two managers get fired. What are your guys' thoughts here?
I mean, I understand it because, like, we've seen now over the last couple of years a number of times where managers have been let go early, and then the team has gone on to great success. I mean, take a look at Rob Thompson covering over for the Phillies here when he did start here, and the team was looking like there was a legitimate shot that they were going to be bottom of the barrel that year, and then get rid of the manager, bring in a new guy, and suddenly they're back to being a powerhouse team. I think a lot of teams are trying to kind of emulate that exact same strategy. Here, do I think it's going to go for success? Not always. I mean, you really have to remember, going back to that Phillies team as well, that Phillies team had a lot of talent on it too. It was just they were in a slow period and they needed a change of culture here. But when you take a look at teams like the Red Sox right now, which, don't get me wrong, they've got some talent. They are not like, they're not the Marlins. They're not the Rockies. They're not any of these teams. They are struggling from for one thing, a lot of injuries, as well as just a lot of players really underperforming. Do I think that the answer for them was a manager switch? No, not really. I feel like the answer with them is that they're going through now a rebuilding period without fully knowing it yet, and that takes time to get out of, especially when you compete in a division that is as competitive as the American League East. Now, for the Phillies, it's another very interesting scenario, I think, personally, because again, the NL East has been very odd, shall I say. I feel like that's probably the best way as an outsider to describe it here, considering that the Mets have looked bad. I could just say outright bad. I mean,
yeah, you're being nice right now. Come on.
Look, I want to be nice because I want to potentially get a job at some point.
Yeah, I know.
The Braves have been led by one Michael Harris, apparently hitting every baseball out there. The Phillies are now being the Phillies. And then you also have, the Nationals and the Marlins, who are, of course, being the Nationals and the Marlins. Not near as competitive a division as the AL East here. And so I feel like for the Phillies, it makes maybe a bit more sense because you still do have guys, like Wheeler. You still have Harper. You still have some really good players on that team. What you don't have right now is the roster right now that the Red Sox have, which is, let me check here, not a whole lot anymore, especially now that Garrett Crochet is on the IL again. So what do you do now if you're Boston? Like, this feels like it's a panic move. And I get it because you should be panicking a bit. But I don't think the panicking comes from the manager. The panicking comes from the fact that every one of your players has either decided to break or play badly for a full month. Like, is that good? No. Is that bad? Yes, I guess. But at the same time, like, what else are you going to do? I don't see this team now competing with teams like the Yankees. I don't see this team competing with, say, I don't know, here. The Blue Jays are starting to find a little bit more of their path. The Red Sox are in such a weird scenario right now because their division is so weird right now. Their division is so competitive to where the entire skill level, legitimately, where it feels like every other team, even the Orioles are playing up their standards right now, can win that division. I mean, heck, even the Rays are playing decent baseball right now. Like, it isn't the 1-2-3 horse race that we thought it was going to be at the beginning of the season. Right now, it is just kind of whoever's there. And does that mean that a manager change is going to be what gets you over the top? No, not always. Also, hey, Noel Bass, always good to have you back here.
So here's the thing. If you are firing your manager in April, why didn't you do it in the offseason? Look at the Twins. Question. They fired Rocco. They fired Derek Falvey before the season started. And that, you can quibble with that, right? The Twins have been a tailspin since they lost to the Mets. Maybe they got the bugaboo from the Mets. Okay, fair enough. You go in a different direction in the offseason. But if you are willing to change up the formula 30 games in, this is from Mets Twitter, admittedly. There are teams that start or go 10-20 at times in the season and still make the playoffs, about 2 a year for the last 15 years. So if you're the Phillies or the Red Sox, or I think the Mets could quickly join these two clubs here.
Agreed, fully.
What's the point at a certain point? However, if you are Mr. Yale himself, Craig Breslow, you could say, wait a minute, we have 135 games to right the ship. If I get 1% better, if my team can win at 54% clip the rest of the season, maybe we can go do something. I guess,
Splash, why do you have to hurt me so deeply? Why do you have to keep needling that wound?
If you want more wounds, wait until we do our team of the month. I have sorry Alex in my notes about 3 times.
Oh, great.
You can just guess what.
We're already getting. All right, this is going to be.
You can guess what players I have included in my team.
No worries.
It's the entire Astros lineup. And Robinson Cano. But anyway, back on track. I can kind of see the vision from what Breslow would say or what Dave Dombrowski would say of, okay, we have 5 months to right the ship. We need to clean house. And you can look at the Phillies and say, hey, the Phillies actually did the thing. The last time they did this, when they fired Girardi mid-season, they hire Rob Thompson. They go on a crazy run to the World Series where Yordan turned things upside down, thankfully. So I guess there's time, and you have the 2003 Marlins as an example. And I do want to give a shout out. The Red Sox won 17-1 and then fired Alex Cora. That is somehow not the first time a team fired its manager after winning a game by 16 runs. It happened in the 1880s when Bob Death to Flying Things Ferguson got canned by, I think, the New York franchise.
The New York Metropolitans were the name.
Yeah, the Metropolitans.
The Metropolitans, yes.
So listen, I love old baseball. We will talk more about old baseball in a little bit. Be forewarned, it's my greatest idea I've ever had. But Bob Ferguson's the GOAT. Anyways, I see the vision. I guess if you're looking at it through the lens of Breslow or Dombrowski, you have all the time left in the season. And the Phillies and Red Sox are struggling because of the lineups they put together. The pitching, I think the pitching is going to be fine. I know Crochet went on the IL, but the pitching for Boston was supposed to be a strength. They were the number 1 team by Fangraphs projected WAR heading into the season for good reason. Crochet, not Suarez. Yes, Ranger Suarez.
So Suarez, yeah.
Yes.
Sonny Gray.
Sonny Gray, and then Tolley and Early. You have a bunch of their 6th, 7th, 8th arms are that could be a nice back end starter type. Bullpen, you had a Aroldis Chapman coming in, Garrett Whitlock. Is it Weissert that always faces Judge and strikes him out? I don't know.
Yeah.
So the Red Sox are supposed to have a great pitching staff. We've had questions about the lineup. I whiffed on that one. I thought, they're going to have plenty of power, but they didn't. So, but Craig Breslow put that lineup on the field, and I know this is just bad optics. When Chad Tracy comes in, he's scribbling down his lineup, what he wants for the day. And he gets a piece of paper from the front office saying, no, this is the lineup, buddy. And I guess part of that is it's your first day on the job. You have not been around these guys every single day. I'm sure you follow the Red Sox scores and whatnot, and you're up to date on what they're doing, but you're not the manager of the team. So I get that, but it was bad optically. But Craig Breslow is making these decisions, and it's this top-down leadership style that sometimes works, sometimes doesn't. And I don't know what you want the Red Sox hitters to do. You didn't trade Jarren Duran when you could have traded him in theory for Isaac Paredes, and instead of Caleb Durbin being hot garbage. Oh, I wonder how Kyle Harrison's doing in Milwaukee. Very good, by the way. So there's issues there. And then the Phillies, Alec Boehm was your cleanup hitter on opening day. With all due respect to Alec Boehm, what are we doing? You are a team that says we're going to try to win the World Series this year. You had people convinced in October if Orion Kerkering has a reasonable throw to any other base, you could have beaten the Dodgers in Game 5 at the bank. People are convinced of that. And you went into the next season, I want Alec Boehm. This is like Max Kellerman saying, give me Iguodala. Bro, be serious, please.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing is, I think Thompson is the biggest loser here because you look at his managerial record with the Phillies. They won the pennant in 22 after after he was hired midseason. Wild card, made the NLCS in 23, won the division each of the last 2 years. Even with this 9-19 start, his win percentage as the Phillies manager is .568. That equates to about a 94 win pace over an 162 game schedule. It is not his fault that, Dave Dombrowski decided to basically run back the same exact roster. I mean, this is not a good roster, not a well-constructed roster. It's an aging core that is relying on Alec Boehm and Bryson Stott to bat in the middle of the lineup. And their pivot from whiffing on Bo Bichette was re-signing, an aging JT Realmuto. That is not a way to win. I mean, really, this was a team everyone other than the Phillies clearly saw the regression on the wall. And I guess, Dave Dombrowski still has a job right now, but the reality is he probably is the guy who should have lost his job here. Splash.
I do want to point out Wheeler came back and looked fine.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit of nerves or whatever, but he looked fine. And Real Muto had been a perfectly fine bat. He'd probably been their best right-handed bat. But now he's on the injured list, and you are trotting out Rafael Marchand and Garrett Stubbs, who, with all due respect, are not major league quality catchers. There are teams in the division that have two. The Phillies are not one of them.
Yeah, so the Phillies are just kind of a mess, and I'm going to sound biased here. I think they're in a worse situation than the Mets are, because the reality is the Mets have a relatively young group for the most part, other than I'd say Marcus Semien. On the position player side of things, it's a younger roster, whereas the Phillies have an aging core, a lot of expensive contracts on that core, including a brand new one given to Kyle Schwarber. It's basically been Bryce Harper and Kyle Schwarber trying to carry that whole lineup. And the thing is with Wheeler, he's in his mid-30s too. What can you even expect to get from him the rest of the year, especially coming off of thoracic outlet syndrome? And to my point about Dombrowski, Craig Breslow is probably 10 times more responsible for the Red Sox mishaps than Alex Cora is. I mean, look at the situation in Boston. All right, they make this Rafael Devers trade. All right, they get back in return Jordan Hicks. Jordan Hicks, James Tibbs, and Kyle Harrison. And none of those guys are on the team anymore. They traded James Tibbs for Dustin May, who they had for less than half a season. He underperformed significantly. Now he's on the Cardinals. So Craig Breslow kind of created this mess, compounded by the fact that they didn't want to give Alex Bregman no trade clause and an extra $10 million. So yeah, it's a mess. The reality is, I don't think Alex Cora should have been given an extension after 2024. That's a Breslow issue. They, for some reason, decided, you know what? This guy has had about two great seasons, surrounded by mediocrity. Let's give him a contract extension. So yeah, the reality is Cora probably should have been out the door a while ago. I'm a little surprised. I've never seen, I think, this early in the season, an entire coaching staff get cleaned out. So yeah, I'm a little amazed.
One thing I want to bring up here, and this is just, while we're talking, an idea comes to me here. Now both the Red Sox and the Phillies have coaching vacancies. Chad Tracy has been named the interim manager of the Red Sox here. I don't know how much we can... Okay, let me rephrase this. We can say overall that Thompson was probably the better of the two managers. Is that a fair statement to say? Because honestly, I feel like both have their ability, both have good ability to them. Personally, I like Thompson more just for what he's done the last few years here. But
I don't think that opinion would be widely shared. I'll put it that way.
Really?
Yeah, Philly fans might disagree here.
I think.
Well, I mean,
a lot of fan bases say that about their team skipper, though.
Exactly.
Like, come on.
Yeah.
So
I think a lot of baseball media now would say Cora, if you were like power ranking managers, Cora would be above Thompson. And I'll speak to like Baseball Tonight, for example. Buster Only was pontificating on if the Phillies should trade for Alex Cora right now. And of course, he got fired.
No,
but he pitched that when he had a Phillies and Mets like fan vent session on. So I'm just throwing it out there that Alex Cora is widely respected. He is a World Series champion, and the Red Sox, after Cora stepped away in 2020 after he was suspended, they did rehire him. So it's not like he got suspended and he's done forever.
They technically fired him and then rehired him, I guess.
Yes. So they did do that. And Cora is, as much as we can quibble with how much managers actually matter for like game to game decisions, the general baseball consensus among like baseball people is that Cora does affect wins and losses on the field. It's not just a working in the clubhouse thing. He's like a Craig Counsell. It actually has a tangible impact on wins and losses. So for what that's worth, I'll have that perspective.
Fair enough. Personally, I'm going to disagree fully, but that's also, just my own take on it here. So with that being said, though, do we think that it's a reasonable idea that potentially we could now see Thompson go to the Red Sox? Is that something that honestly, like, this not actual trade would be, but that the Red Sox could get better with Rob Thompson? Because go back to 2022, right? Go back to when Thompson took over for the Phillies, right? I don't remember. Was it 22? Was it 23? I apologize here. 22.
22, yeah. They fired Girardi, yeah.
Yeah, fired Joe Girardi, got with Thompson, and Thompson took a team that a lot of people said had only a couple real hitters on the team, a few good pitchers, but a lot of players that were underperforming and a lot of injuries. The Boston Red Sox have a few players that are carrying the team, a number of injuries, and a few good pitchers. It feels like it would make at least a little bit of sense here for the Red Sox then to go after him here. I don't know if that's fully the plan. I think it's going to be Chad Tracy is going to be leading the Red Sox the rest of the way, unless they can, somehow come together for a decent trade. Well, not trade, excuse me, a decent signing to, bring him in. But at the same time, like, I feel like this is another opportunity where the Red Sox could just take advantage of teams panicking and get an upgrade in that way. Is he going to be number one? No, I don't think Thompson is the best manager in baseball. I don't think he's even in the top 10, 15. But I do think, personally, this is my thing, and this is just because, again, you can call him Marin bias, whatever you want. I think that Thompson is better than Cora. And I think that it's not personally close. But at the same time, I understand why baseball people would say that as well. Especially when you take a look at the history of both and the longer history that Cora has over, So with that being said, though, could you then say that would the Red Sox benefit from the Phillies firing?
I mean, I think I don't see this happening. I don't think Rob Thompson, or I don't think either of these guys are going to manage the rest of the year. I'll say that much. And I think that Chad Tracy was managing Worcester in AAA. So I think that he probably going forward is going to be the skipper. Like, I'm expecting him to be there the rest of the year, probably get a full-time contract after this. He's widely regarded as a guy who is going to be a future successful manager in the major leagues. He also comes from, major league lineage. Jim Tracy, his dad, was also a midseason hire, by the way. When he was with the Rockies, Clint Hurdle got fired when they were 18-28, and he took them to the playoffs that year. But I think Tracy probably has the makeup of a big league skipper, and I'm expecting him to stay there. But I think Thompson is going to get a job this offseason. And apparently he has a standing offer to be an advisor in the Phillies front office. So clearly the Phillies didn't want to fire him. They just ended up doing it. And this leads me to my next point, which is that, and by the way, I displayed it earlier, but XYZ Balling says, when does Tony V get canned? Tony V is not getting canned, guys. He's about a month into his managerial tenure in the majors. But I'm going to say, guy,
less patience than the Phillies do. Jeez.
Yeah. My last point here, though, is that I am amazed that Carlos Mendoza still has a job right now.
Yes.
The Mets lost a dozen games in a row, and then after winning 2 in a row, got swept by the Rockies. I was fully expecting after the nightcap on Sunday for him to get canned. But here we are, and he still has a job. It's kind of amazing to me that those two guys lost their jobs, and Carlos Mendoza has managed his team to be about 30 games under 500 since mid-June last year and still has a job. So if we're talking about who's on the hot seat next, I'd say Mendoza's first and foremost, and then I can't help but think Joe Espada in Houston, he might be next. Like, this is the thing, and my last point here about the Phillies is that the Red Sox, I'm going to give a little bit of benefit of the doubt because they're banged up. I mean, Roman Anthony's basically had to sit out all of last week. Garrett Crochet is now injured. The Phillies, for the most part, have been healthy this year, and this is how they're playing. So, any last thoughts before we move on?
Hey, if Houston does fire Espada, they have a in replacement waiting there, Venezuela's coach from the WBC.
That's true.
Just throwing it out there. And I think we did underplay. Alex Cora and Dave Dombrowski worked together in Boston. They won a World Series together in Boston. So that would make a lot of sense if the Phillies had some brain power. But instead, they hired me. So,
I mean, yeah, we can. I mean, to be fair, any of us could have told you that. But, yeah, no, here's my thing when it comes to all of this is that I've never been a fan of firing managers very early into the season here. And again, you could define what is very early, what is not very early. I get that. That's fine. But baseball is a marathon, not a sprint. And I feel like a lot of people use that phrase as a scapegoat for, players aren't playing well. Well, remember, it's a marathon, not a sprint here. And then, potentially you could be doing the exact same thing, 80 games in, and now you're at a losing position. This is, I want to say proactive, like I want to say managing, but a proactive firing by both sides here who do legitimately believe that they have World Series like contentions in their future. But at the same time, if you honestly had any of these concerns going into the season, kind of like what you said earlier, Mac, why didn't you can them earlier? Why wouldn't you have done that? Like with Thompson, I get it, like for the fact of I do fully believe that they did not want to get rid of him. I think they have another plan up their sleeve right now, and I think they may have someone already that they want to be their manager. Because otherwise, I don't think they would have gotten rid of Thompson this fast, considering the fact that he has yet to have a losing season. Like, let's just be very clear about that. He's made the playoffs. Like, if my memory is holding up here, every season that he has been the manager, if the Seattle Mariners had that over their 21-year drought, where a manager did not make it to the postseason, they were fired, we would have over 20 new managers of the Seattle Mariners. Like, I mean,
yeah,
that's the thing, right? Like, you got to give it a little bit of time. And again, Thompson is the one that still baffles me the most. He's the one that has the track record of success here in very much in the more recency bias, I should say. But he has yet to have a failing season. Like, the guy came into a situation that was all doom and gloom and still led them to the pennant. Like, what more do you want from the guy?
I think the Phillies fans I know were a little upset just because he couldn't get them the extra mile. Like, he got them to the pennant, he got them to the NLCS, he got them to the NLDS only the last 2 years, and the last 2 years when they win the division, they get bounced in the first round. So they were a little fed up there. But this is also Philadelphia we're talking about. Philadelphia, New York, Boston, LA. They all have quick triggers with their teams. I'm trying to figure out a way to equate it, but like it's tough. I mean, we saw it with the Orioles last year. They fired Brandon Hyde, didn't exactly help. The Pirates fired Derek Shelton last year early in the season. Don Kelly actually got them to play inspired ball. But I was thinking back to the Nationals, who were cycling through managers every 2 years before they got Davey Martinez the last 6 years, actually. Actually, that's a lie. He lasted from 2018 to 2025. So 8 seasons, basically. So, yeah. Anyway, I say we move on. We are in the second to last day of April, so we're going to talk about our team of the month. One from every position, 5 starters, 5 starting pitchers, 2 relievers. Let's get started at the backstop. And I'm going to go first here. Shea Langoliers is my catcher of April. Been one of the best players in baseball since last year's All-Star break. Actually, as of a few days ago, he was the best player since mid-July last year. This year, 156 WRC plus. That's not just great for a catcher. That's just great overall. 1.3 F4 already. He's hit 8 home runs. I know that his power surge has kind of tapered off a little bit, but Shea Langoliers, best catcher in baseball right now.
I'm gonna go next here, and it's Bangaliers. I mean, the guy has been absolutely tearing the cover off of the baseball here. Already has, let's say, double check my notes here, 8 home runs, 14 RBIs here. But the thing that gets me the most here is that we've always wondered about whether or not he could ever consistently make contact. Right? That's always been the question. You knew the power was there. There's a reason why he's had the nickname of Bangaliers for a while. Here. Well, what happens when you give a man that has this insane power a 316 batting average? Well, that ball gets hit a lot, and it gets hit hard pretty darn good when he has a slugging percentage right now of 573. That is amazing to see, and he has an on-base percentage of 370. Like, the guy has been absolutely mashing the baseball. He currently leads all catchers in qualified catchers in OPS. Here, what more do you want? The only knock you could really have on him is maybe a little bit of the defense, but even then, his defense has been all right. It hasn't been the best. He's not been a Platinum Glove winner, but he hasn't needed to be. He has been solid, and offensively, he has been one of the reasons why the A's are one of the top teams in the American League at the moment.
All right. I'm splitting hairs here. I'm going to go Langoliers by a smidge. I'm going to mention Drake Baldwin leads the majors in runs in the National League in hits, and he has 2 hits off Scoobel tonight. So tough luck for Baldwin, but yeah, Langoliers is bringing a lot of power. The A's, got off to this really rancid start in Toronto, and it's like they're not doing anything besides Langoliers. He hits a bunch of home runs. He had a home run in Atlanta as well. So he's really kept them afloat offensively. Kurtz has come along in recent weeks. He has a long streak of walks, and they've gotten to a little bit more power down the lineup. Cortez has really popped for them, but Langoliers has been like the through line since opening day, really, that he's been excellent. And Brave supremacy. They have the number 1 and number 2 catchers in ball right now. So yeah, let's go.
Yeah. Langoliers has been awesome, but I had 2 guys I really considered here. Liam Hicks for the Marlins. What a breakout season so far. He can't throw out a runner to save his life. He's already leading the majors in stolen bases allowed. But besides that, he's been excellent this year. OPS about 900, 28 RBIs already. And the guy who's becoming baseball's supervillain right now, Dalton Rushing, coming into today, already had 7 home runs and 49 plate appearances. I know he had gone 20-something plate appearances without a home run, but I can't look past how great he's been. Let's move over to first base. Who do you guys have at first base? Splash is really excited, so I'm going to let Splash go first here.
Splash, go for it, man.
Fellas, this is a win-win for me. Either I can victory lap over you bozos over Ben Rice, or I can victory lap over you bozos with Matt Olson. Olson has some merit. He's the best defensive first baseman. He leads the NL in OPS plus. But it's Ben Rice. He's the second best hitter on the planet right now behind your ding dong. We'll talk about your ding dong later. Rice, baby. He has never been more here. He's the best hitter on the Yankees. Move over Aaron Judge. Move to the injured list, Giancarlo Stanton. Hey, welcome back, Jason Dominguez from AAA. Ben Rice, he's here. He's him. He's actually hitting. Unlike, it's not just a mirage. It's not if-man. It's not Justin Herbert disease. He is actually hitting the baseball. He is living up to the Baseball Savant page. I am so happy. Hallelujah.
I'll just be short then, because Splash, I think, said everything that needed to be said, and probably a lot more. Ben Rice. The guy's been doing amazing. OPS now at over 1,100. What more do you need to say at that point? Here. Splash has already said everything that I needed to say, and then probably about 3 times more. So,
Yeah, Ben Rice obviously is my first baseman too. I don't have much else to add, but take a look at his Baseball Savant page. That's all I'm going to say. If you're not familiar with Ben Rice's game, there's a whole lot of red in there. He's really good, guys. He's by OPS as of right now. He's the second best hitter in baseball at 1.157. His WRC plus is over 200. So yes, Ben Rice, very good. Let's move over to second base. Alex, who do you got at second base?
Look, I understand there are better players. I understand this will not continue forever. But Cole Young season, baby! Cole Young has been absolutely on fire the last month of April. He has been putting the entire league on notice. What Splash has been talking about Ben Rice, I can talk about with Cole Young. Oh, this guy has been fantastic. Watching him defensively, he makes the hardest plays look routine. Offensively, every time he comes up to the plate, it does not matter if it is a righty or if it is a lefty, he is going to hit the ball. Case in point today, where he came up here in a big situation, and it wasn't even a hard hit. Did exactly what you need to do as a baseball guy and put the ball in play, got the ball into the outfield, brought in some runs, so that Seattle took the lead over the Twins. This guy has been nothing but clutch. He has been exactly what you want, and if this guy continues this throughout the rest of the season, this guy is going to be the best second baseman in the game. He has played the position at an incredible rate. Does not have the arm. I understand that. Doesn't need to be as a second baseman. He has incredible range. He has great bat speed. The guy hits the ball hard, too. And funny enough, you can't play righty v lefty against him. Here, if you play him lefty-lefty, guess what? He's batting over 300 against left-handed pitchers. Fun times. There's a reason why the Twins did not bring in Taylor Rogers to face him. Because they're like, wait a minute. These colors do not rhyme. Cole Young has been hitting left-handed pitching just so dang well. Cole Young, best second baseman in baseball.
Yeah, I really wanted to put Cole Young here. I'm just going to say it. And I watched him today. I've been watching a decent amount of him. And he's been just fantastic lately. That road trip was really excellent. It's weird because Baseball Reference loves him. Like he's the most defensive runs saved in baseball. But then you go over to Fangraphs and it tells you he's like average, which is it's confusing. I'm going to go with the guy that I think both sites kind of love. I'm going with Nico Horner. In addition to just being an excellent second baseman, he already has 7 outs above average. He also, entering today, had a 134 WRC plus, which for Nico Horner especially is excellent. When you play Gold Glove caliber defense and are a well above average hitter, you're elite. He already has 1.6 FWAR. So yeah, Nico Horner, right now, we all had him in our top 5 entering the season. He's been the best second baseman so far this year.
Yeah, unlike Alex, I looked at more than the Baseball Reference leaderboards. Sorry, Alex.
The Baseball Reference leaderboards, by the way.
Darn. Okay, well, my bit continues. So, as Max said,
can I say one last thing before you continue? Just because I just noticed this here, Cole Young is the luckiest player in baseball. Has an OPS of 777 coming into today's game.
Pretty good.
There you go.
All right, sorry. Please continue.
Yeah. So Horner, has been an excellent fielder. My pick is Nico Horner. He's been an excellent fielder. As always, shortstop level glove playing second base because you have Dansby there. So you got the horny swan connection. As Max said, a 134 WRC plus. That's awesome. And I will say I considered Team USA legend Bryce Turang. He's had a good year.
Maybe I also considered Turang, yeah.
Platinum-y with the glove as he had been. And I also considered Xavier Edwards, particularly after he let his nuts hang all over a certain degenerate gambler who wears 17 for a team in blue tonight. So
I don't know what player that is.
No,
yeah, me neither. Exciting times. The Marlins beat the Dodgers 2 out of 3. So yeah, we gotta love it. And if you guys don't mind, can I choose the third baseman, please?
Yeah, go ahead.
Please, go for it.
All right. With all due respect to both A's Max Muncy and Dodgers Max Muncy, I am giving this to Dodgers Max Muncy's eye doctor. It's amazing how he can see now. A 166 WRC plus entering play today, a 1.5 WAR in 28 games. He's back. He kind of left, his vision left, and he's back, and he's been a competent defender at third. That's what really brings Josh Young down. Rangers all-star Josh Young, actually. He has been an equivalent hitter to Muncy, but Muncy's been a smidge better defensively, so about half a win above replacement, according to Baseball Reference. So, yeah, Max Muncy. He saw another Max Muncy who was drafted by the A's, who was born on the same day and has the same year of the Chinese year of the whatever. And he thought, I'm losing ground, so I got to be the best hitter on the Dodgers, apparently. So, good job.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to make this go too much longer. Yeah, it's Max Muncy of the Dodgers. All you really need to take a look at is just the hitting stats. He's batting 287 and OPS just shy of 1,000 by about 32 points. Where has this Max Muncy been? This is the Max Muncy that you see when playing MLB The Show. The guy that has a glitchy swing that somehow hits nuke after nuke after nuke. Here, and now defensively has been all right. The arm, I have some issues with the arm strength wise, but at the same time is still playing the position at a solid rate. And again, need to make sure I'm very clear about this. He's hitting the ball exceptionally well on a team that includes guys like Shohei Ohtani, a team that includes guys such as Freddie Freeman, a guy that includes on a team that also includes guys like Mookie Betts and Kyle Tucker. Max Muncy is one of the best hitters currently on the team.
Yeah. So I went in a different direction, and Ralph, I'm going to talk about Kevin McGonigal now. He was my he's my third baseman here. I mean, he's got a 162 WRC plus. He's walking as much as he's striking out. Sure, he only has 2 homers, but he's still getting plenty of extra base hits. And while his glove isn't quite there yet, I mean, he's basically been everything we could have asked for so far. So, and him and Muncy are even in F4 coming into today. But yeah, I lean McGonigal here. Muncy is tearing the cover off the ball too. So it was incredibly difficult for me, but I'm leaning with the rookie here. I've been super, super impressed by this 21-year-old. So, and yes, Ralph is really excited now.
Ralph, I don't know if you've paid attention to the chat like I have. Ralph has just been talking all about the Tigers in our chat, and honestly, I respect it.
Yeah.
By the way, you're about to get hyper with another McGonigal mention here. For shortstop, I have Kevin McGonigal. Like, that's the other thing here is that I take a look at this. I didn't want to put him at third just because here I wanted to give some love to Max Muncy here, but at short, it really came down to between McGonigal and Elly De La Cruz. And Elly De La Cruz has the power. McGonigal has everything else. And that's kind of the bit here. Like, you take a look at the batting average between the two of them. McGonigal is leading in batting average by by exactly 50 points. Okay? And that is McGonigal. On base percentage is, 62 points ahead of Elly De La Cruz. Another point to McGonigal. Slugging percentage is, 58 points. A little bit below, below Elly, so I'll give that one to Elly, but that's also what happens when you have 10 home runs on the season already, so good job to you, Elly. But OPS, even with the 10 home runs, is not good enough, as McGonigal has the best OPS of any qualified shortstop right now at 945. The guy has been electric, and here's the fun thing about it. He's still young. He's a rookie. This right now is a guy that's is right now a current favorite for Rookie of the Year. The guys are playing out of his mind alongside another player in the, in Chicago. That is another one of my favorite boys here. Something Murakami hitting all the baseball, something.
Yeah. And by the way, so Elly De La Cruz is my shortstop, but I do want to shout out his a teammate on the left side of the infield. Sal Stewart has been excellent too.
Yeah.
Again, it was another guy I really wanted to include, but yeah, top to bottom, really. I was really more so considering McGonigal as a third baseman. Primarily he has played there this year. But De La Cruz, I think top to bottom has been the best primary shortstop. I know the strikeouts are still high, but he's throwing walks at not a bad rate. He has 10 homers, 8 steals, and a 158 WRC plus. He's doing everything you want out of Elly De La Cruz. His defense at shortstop may not, light up the score sheet, but he's overall been, I think, this could be the best version of Ellie De La Cruz we've seen so far in his career. So, yeah, he's my shortstop.
I could see it, absolutely.
Yeah, and welcome back to the land of the living, Ellie De La Cruz. His ISO is around 300. He's been okay defensively. He's not like Bobby Witt or anything. But the base running is back, and that's important. And a couple of years ago, he steals 50 plus bags. Last year, he makes a point to play 162 games, which is admirable. But he was nursing a quad injury, a leg injury for 3/4 of the season, so he doesn't run as much. It maybe saps a little bit of his power, saps a little bit of his defense, but he plays every day. It's the Cal Ripken conundrum, essentially. But he's back. He's fully healthy, and he's also figured out some of his platoon issues. And much like O'Neal Cruz in Pittsburgh, if you just figure out a little bit, if you can Ellie is a switch hitter, so you have a little bit of a different issue. But if you just figure out how to be competent against your weaker side, and you could just go bananas against your great side, like that's the mark of a truly outstanding hitter. It's if you're say Jordan's an extreme example because he's awesome against lefties, but if he was just merely passable against lefties, he would be one of the best hitters on the planet because he's so good against righties. But he's awesome against lefties, so it makes him like that great. But if you just can hold your own, in Ellie's case, against his weaker side, just hold your own and then dominate against your strong side, he's going to be a great player. He plays shortstop. He's solid enough defensively. He runs the bases spectacularly. And I think there's an argument to be had with Lindor's struggles and his injury and Perdomo struggling and Turner being kind of meh. Is Ellie the second best shortstop in the world right now? I think I would take Witt over him, but
I think if we're talking about like right now, yes. And Bobby Witt Jr., by the way, that was a good question from Double Base. How many home runs does Bobby Witt end up with? I still think he ends up with about 25.
Yeah, my number's between 20 and 25.
Yeah, I know. Maybe he doesn't reach 30, but yeah, he's.
Yeah, they brought in the walls for no reason, I guess.
Yeah, maybe he should hit the weight room.
I was about to say, yeah, something balanced breakfast, something hit the weight room.
Yeah. Let's move over to the outfield, though. I'm going to go first here. My 3 outfielders, Aaron Judge, he's caught fire again. He's starting to hit home runs at a crazy rate. And this feels great to say. Mike Trout, dude, finally got an OPS up to 1,000 this year. It's so nice to see that. 29 runs scored already, by the way. That's pretty cool. Yeah. Mike Trout has been basically Mike Trout. Sure, his batting average is kind of low, but whatever. And then at number 3, I know this guy's cooled down a little bit, but Andy Pages. When you combine offense and defense, he's been great this year. Am I expecting him to hit over 320 all season? No, because he was hitting about 450 a couple weeks ago. But Andy Pages has had a great year so far. So those are my 3.
Yeah, this is in no particular order here either, by the way. This is not a left field, center field, right field type of thing. These are 3 outfielders. I would agree with you on the first 2. Aaron Judge, the guy's an OPS over 1,000 coming into today. And I'm with you. It feels so nice to say that Mike Trout is being Mike Trout again. Like, this is a player that I think all of us agree is going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. And to finally see him after being so injured for quite a while, to see him actually playing at the level like we know that he could be, it's very, very, it's very healing in a way to see. It's also just really nice that his back is finally healing up after carrying the Angels for so long. But then number 3 is, I felt like there's legit 5 names that I could put for the third one here. I decided to go with my Seattle boy here, and that is one Corbin Carroll. I like him. Corbin Carroll has been playing pretty darn good baseball. As of playing an OPS right now, 904, has a few triples already in this season, which, you know what? If we do have 4 triples in a month, I think we're doing pretty good. I think we're doing pretty good there. But no, he's been playing pretty darn good baseball, and it seems like that hamate bone has not been too much of an issue for him.
Yeah, I'm going to start with James Wood, actually. And I
almost put James Wood on
he was one of my 5.
Yeah, he was my tough missions.
Heading into this exercise, I wanted to do left, center, and right. But I would have left Wood off in that case. And I actually fear for the safety of my family, so I'm not going to do that. I think it'd be best to put Wood in He can play left field. He hits home runs to left field, so it counts. And if I had chosen a left fielder, Alex, I would have actually chosen Randy. So sorry, Alex. In center field, it's Mike Trout. All is right in the world. It's like 2014 all over again. Mike Trout is the GOAT. The Seahawks and Patriots are in the Super Bowl. Things are crazy. 171 WRC plus entering play today. And he had a historic series at Yankee Stadium, which I think we will talk about like longer than this season. It's that special of a series. Him and Judge going back and forth, homer for homer. That was incredible. And his expected WOBA is even higher than his actual, like what he's doing. So, are we going to get more out of Mike Trout? Who knows? Obligatory Michael Harris, the second mention. He's the GOAT. And our second 6'7" outfielder of the group, Aaron Judge. He's him. He started out cold. XYZ Ballin can speak to that. And he's the best right-handed hitter since Rogers Hornsby. So 182 WRC plus, 12 dongs. Savant page looks great. What's not to like?
Yeah. I mean, I had a feeling we would overlap on at least a few of those. And yes, James Wood and Corbin Carroll were the two guys I heavily considered over Andy Pages. But anyway, I think we all have the same guy designated hitter.
Bryce Baldwin, he's back.
I want to say one thing just for the people watching in here listening. Pulling behind the curtain a little bit. I asked Splash earlier today to say, hey, can you make up a little template for us to follow so then we can all make sure we're on the same page with the Team of the Month stuff. And you said the template, but neglected to put in the designated hitter, filled that one in for all of us here. And I wonder why. Here. By the way, he's correct.
Yeah. By the way, I knew how great Yordan Alvarez has been this year, but 20 walks against 11 strikeouts with 11 homers too. So not only is he leading the majors in OPS and WRC plus, he's not striking out and he's drawing a ton of walks. If anyone questioned if Yordan Alvarez was still great after last year because of all the injuries and he wasn't, typical Yordan Alvarez when he played. Yordan Alvarez is back. I don't think he really ever left. But yeah, Yordan Alvarez, he's like a top 3 hitter, top 5 hitter at least in the world when he's healthy.
Yeah. It's always come down to it's never been about whether or not he had the ability to do any of this. It was whether or not his body would let him do any of this, as he did have to battle a number of injuries, especially speaking as someone who has had a lot of knee injuries. That really messes with you. But the fact that his OPS right now is closer to 1,200 than it is to 1,000 is insane to think about how good this guy is. And like you brought up here, the strikeout to walk numbers, he is right now pretty darn close to having a 2-to-1 ratio of walks to strikeouts.
You know how hard that is to do?
Exactly. Right? That's the thing, right? You take a look at every other DH, right? I'm looking right now at MLB.com's listings of every qualified DH currently this year, right? And the grand total amount of DHs that have more strikeouts than walks here is everyone but Yordan Alvarez. That's what this guy does. The guy hits the ball at an unreal clip. It does not matter what kind of pitcher you throw at him. You could throw it at Prime Randy Johnson. He will find a way to at least put the bat on the ball. You could throw Greg Maddux against him. He will find a way to put bat on ball here. To make a modern addition for this year, you could put Aroldis Chapman against him. He will find a way to put bat on ball. You could put here Mason Miller against him. He will find a way to put bat on ball. And I don't
know about that one, Alex.
We are going to talk about him a little bit later here. But you know what? It's close on that point. We'll see. Because also Mason Miller, don't worry, we will be talking about him very, very, very soon.
But that'd be like the Gagne versus Bonds at bat.
That's what I'm feeling like.
I was thinking, yeah,
that'd be electric. Yordan, I don't use this comp lightly because he's a Inner Circle Hall of Famer, perhaps the best retired right-handed hitter since Rogers Hornsby. Yordan gives me Albert Pujols vibes.
I was going to say that.
From the left side, not the right side, of course. And of course, Pujols did it for 11 straight years in St. Louis, and you had the batting 300, 30 homers, 100 RBI. That's never going to happen again. Also, Frank Thomas. So, like, somewhere between like Frank Thomas and Albert Pujols, you get Yordan Alvarez from the left side, and it's just an incredible approach. And usually, when you are making a hitter, there's like sliders, and we've all seen the sliders. Both of your teams in particular have your team gets good bullpen, good starting pitching, good hitting, and you can only get 2 out of the 3, and the other slider moves back the other direction.
Yeah.
When you're a hitter, you have to really find the balance between hitting for contact and hitting for power, because if you're hitting for more contact, you look at Luis Ariz, who is like the extreme example. He's not going to hit for much power because his priority is not hitting the ball hard, it's hitting the ball. And then you look at the other end of the spectrum, like a Miguel Sano type, to use another twin, that he's not focused on hitting the ball or not hitting the ball. He is focused on hitting the ball as hard as he can. And if he misses, oh well, he'll swing again the next time. Yordan is like 99th percentile at both. It is absurd what he does. He's a phenomenal hitter. And, you know, for a long time I held out he was the best DH in baseball. Maybe we're back to that situation.
I mean, yeah, you may have noticed we just went through those guys through our position player group. Shohei Ohtani did not make any of our lists, which is crazy to me. You know, there are a lot of guys who are mainstays right now who or have been in the past few years who didn't make our team of the month so far. We are going to move to the starting pitchers, though. Obviously, like I said, we have 5 guys, 5 starters, 2 relievers. If you guys don't mind, I'm going to start with my 5 starters. I'm going to just give you some guys who I had a hard time leaving off. Clay Holmes, Nolan McLean, Chase Dollander, Chris Sale, Jacob deGrom. These are all guys who I left off. It was really hard to do. Tyler Glasnow, I left him off too. My 5 are as follows. Jose Soriano, Cam Schlittler, Shohei Ohtani, Parker Meshik, and Paul Skeens. So yes, Shohei did make it. He's a 0.6 ERA, guys. And you might be wondering, how did Skeens make it? Well, I know he had that rocky first start of the year against the Mets, but he had 3 earned runs all month, guys. He had a sub-1 ERA in April. So yeah, those are my 5.
I have a lot of overlap, Mac. Jose Soriano has been excellent. I wish we had recorded yesterday before he allowed 3 runs, so I could have glazed Drake Baldwin more, but he's striking guys out. He's getting a lot of ground balls, 5.13 ERA plus, all of those things will play. Cam Schlittler, playoff hero last year, the bane of everyone in Boston's existence and Alex's existence, apparently. He leads the entire universe in F4. It's like 2021 DeGrom and Cole.
Yeah.
Like that was the last guys to have that much F4 in 1 month, or maybe in April. So it's like all Hall of Famers and guys who would have been Hall of Famers if not for being Jacob deGrom or Roger Clemens, basically. Leads the league in strikeouts, FIP, WHIP, walks per 9, strikeout to walk ratio. He could have like a historic strikeout to walk ratio this season. It's over 8 right now. We're like George Kirby territory. Shohei Ohtani, I'm back. He's a better pitcher than he is a hitter. Bang. Okay. Parker Messick, he nearly threw a no-hitter. He blanked the best team in baseball. Who, I'm going to point out, none of us are going to have any Braves, and the Braves are the best team in baseball right now, so that's kind of wild. 1.73 ERA in 6 starts. Reminds me a lot of Max Fried, who is important to note because I have Max Fried in my list. He leads the majors in innings. The ERA is a hair over 2, but he's just been a great stopper for the Yankees and has really plugged in because you don't have Cole, you don't have Rodon right now. Luis Gil is walking everybody. Ryan Weathers is not as good as I think he is. Will Warren is not back yet. I always mix up Warren and Schmidt, but he has the lowest hits per 9 in the American League. The whip is great. The strikeouts are a little down, which is a little scary, but he doesn't walk batters and he gets a lot of soft contact. So Fried, Messick, Ohtani, Schlittler, and Soriano.
Yeah, I made an addendum to my earlier list here because I realized I had completely omitted one player here, and I'm fixing that issue right now. So my list here, Jose Soriano, I mean, dude's been lights out. I mean, how much better can you get at that point? Cam Schlittler, I have some problems with him as a character wise, but on the bump, he's been solid. Been really darn good. Parker Messick, as you said, nearly threw a no-hitter. Shohei Ohtani is in there. I'm also including Nick Martinez. Nick Martinez has pitched so well as of late. A 1.7 ERA over 6 starts is very, very, very nice. You're especially playing for Tampa Bay here. So those are my 5. There's a number of other ones I was considering. Clay Holmes was on. Bryce Elder was the one for the Braves. Specifically, I was actually he was on my list. I had to remove to put on someone else here, but he was very much there. DeGrom has played well. Max Fried, like you said earlier, is leading the league in innings pitched here, which honestly, you got to be a good innings eater to be a good starter, I think. I just think that this is part of my own personal philosophy. I did not have Skeens on purely because this is for the month of April, and his month of April was not good. So
what?
It was all right, but like again, when you take a look at the beginning of it, it just
he had that one bad outing on opening day, but like I was saying, he'll have 3 earned runs in 28 innings.
That's
fair. in the actual body of April, like because that first start was in March technically. Yada yada yada.
Fair enough. You know what? Fair enough. You make a better point. I will. I retract my statements.
One common thread here I'm noticing though is we all did not have Tarek Skubal. Which is crazy because Tarek Skubal still had a good month. It's just that, there were so many good pitchers this month. I mean, we didn't even mention guys like Davis Martin or Michael Wacha, or Kevin Gausman, Seth Lugo, Drew Osmond. Like, there's so many guys, Jacob Mizorowski. Like, there are a bunch of guys that we just, didn't include because it's hard to narrow it down to just 5 guys. But
Skubal is carving up the Braves right now. So if we recorded tomorrow, perhaps Skubal would be on our list.
Yeah,
potentially. Yes.
Let's move over to the bullpen. One of you guys tell us are your 2 relievers.
I want to take another victory lap, fellas. Jeff Hoffman is not on my list. He sucks, but Louis Varland, welcome to the club, baby. He has an ERA lower than our Lord and Savior Mason Miller. So, I'm just saying. He's been great. He's allowed 1 run in 14 innings. And he's going to be a big reason why Toronto can bounce back now that they don't have insert evil person at the back end of their bullpen. And it's Mason Miller. Duh. His FIP is still negative. He has an expected FIP of 0.04. That's pretty good. And I get it with the strikeouts. But like I mentioned with Yohan Duran a couple years ago, getting ground balls is also good. So if you're just striking everybody out and on the off chance they put the ball in play, it's on the ground. I think Machado and Bogarts and Cronenworth will probably scoop up the ground ball. Maybe they will, maybe they won't, but you're not going to allow extra base hits and home runs when the ball's on the ground. So that's important. So Varland and Miller for me. And I do want to point out, I've seen some some unfair commentary, if you will, with the FIP when Miller has a negative FIP. And people are like, oh, that makes FIP a bad stat because you can't have a negative ERA. Correct. But it is saying he would be a 0 ERA pitcher if he had a defense that was worth negative value, if you will. So he wouldn't actually have a negative ERA. That's impossible. But he would have a 0 ERA even with a truly atrocious defense, in theory. That's what a negative FIP means.
Yeah. Fair enough, yeah. I also have Mason Miller. What more can I say here? Look, even in his quote-unquote down stretch, he still has a 56% strikeout rate, guys. And also about a 56, almost 57% whiff rate. He basically it's literally all red on his Baseball Savant page. So Mason Miller is excellent. Oh, no, he gave up 2 runs the other day. I'm going to go with another guy who had a scoreless streak snapped recently by Alex's Mariners. Riley O'Brien is my second one. I heavily considered Varland also. But O'Brien, first of all, excellent story, dude. He was a 30-year-old rookie last year, burst onto the scene. Playing, I know it wasn't a super competitive Cardinals team, but he earned his spot this year. 7 saves. He's a 16-1 strikeout to walk ratio. And like I was saying, he's a guy in his early 30s, finally getting a chance to flourish. Throws 100 miles per hour, misses bats, get ground balls. He had that blip in the radar, but I think Riley O'Brien's a great pitcher. He's my second reliever.
All right. Mason Miller, my number 1, obviously. I mean, come on. The dude strikes out more batters than it feels like almost. I know this is a physical impossibility, but it feels like he strikes out more batters than batters he actually faces. Like, that's just kind of how he is. And you know what? More power to him. But there's one reliever, not a closer, mind you, a reliever, that has kept up that 0 ERA. That's still the perfect ERA year. And that man is one Matthew Brash, baby! Matt Brash has been absolutely nuts this year, and I my heart sank to my chest when he came out of the game earlier today. They said it was just precautionary. Hopefully he's okay. The guy still has a 0 ERA, has a .7 baseball reference WAR. What does Mason Miller have? Oh yeah, Mason Miller has a .8 so far. They are neck and neck. Who has the better whip? Guess what? It's actually Matt Brash. Here, people are sleeping on how good of a setup man that Matthew Brash is. His sweeper to fastball sinker combo is electric. When he is healthy, please, for the love of everything, be healthy, is one of the best non-closing pitchers in the game. And you know what? If Munoz ever needs a break, you know who they go to immediately? Yep, it's Matt Brash. Brash is the most reliable reliever right now so far through baseball.
Yeah, I almost put Brash on there. He's excellent. I really like watching that back end of that Mariners bullpen, especially now that it looks like Munoz is getting some things refined.
Yeah.
And starting to figure things out.
How amazing is it right now? If I could just say for like a brief second, the Mariners have 3 relievers here that make a 7, 8, 9 nearly about as perfect as you can get here, with the mixture of Edward Bizardo and Gabe Spire for 7, Matt Brash at 8, and Munoz at 9. Like,
it's strong.
Nice.
They obviously they're not perfect, but like they're very hard to beat. What Splash?
Does your team have a 6, 7, 8, and 9 inning guy? Because my team does. I don't know what Alex Anthopoulos, like what kind of thing he pulled out of thin air in Colorado. Tyler Kinley has been unbelievable for the Braves since they traded for him.
It feels like he just needed to get out of Denver.
Good point.
Because he's just been like unhittable ever since he got to Atlanta.
Yeah, it's the Pierce Johnson playbook, but the slider, not a curveball, and he's been excellent. And then the 7, 8, 9 with Lee, and Lee faces your lefty, so so kind of there. And also congratulations on having a child, Dylan Lee. Welcome back today.
Sure. Yes.
And then Robert Suarez has been unbelievable. It's so nice having a guy pumping 100 out of the bullpen. And then Iggy, he's on the IL right now, but Iggy,
when he's healthy,
he had a sketchy outing against Philly that Ronald saved with a great catch against Schwarber, but you're also playing the Phillies like 20 times a year, so he sucks against Harper, so that's a sketchy bit. But shout out to the Braves bullpen besides Jose Suarez. Yuck. Yeah. Sorry, pal.
So that's our team of the month for April. I know there's technically one more day in the month, but that's you'll get this at the end of every month, our last episode of every month. But anyways, it's time for everyone's favorite segment.
Hold on.
Wait, hang
on.
1
second. Just before trivia here, we do have one more thing we need to do.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
Before every show.
Yeah.
I was like, during every show. And that is the question of the day. So, Splash.
Clap it up.
So you got it, man.
Give us a question.
All right. I have a situation for you. You get your dream car, but gas is $10 more expensive per gallon. Do you accept the trade?
Yes.
You get your dream car for free, no strings attached, no car payment, no. You have to do regular maintenance on it, but you don't have to you don't have to pay $100,000 or whatever, or I don't know how expensive your dream car is. I know mine, despite not really driving, is a color changing Audi R8. But whatever car you want, no money, but gas is $10 more expensive a gallon.
I barely drive. That's the thing. I've driven like twice since I got my license. Like I don't know.
Alliance actually brings up a really good question. Can we sell it?
No.
No, so it's just forever there?
Yes.
Then? Okay, cool. I'm still accepting the offer, but I'm never driving it. I'm just going to have another beater car, and this is going to be my car that I use when I'm trying to impress people.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
honestly,
This is
I think
it's giving Cameron's parents from Ferris Bueller.
Yeah, I can see
you know
that.
what? Yes.
What
You
a
know
call! I came up with
That's
Cameron
great.
on the fly.
That's one
Let's
of my
go,
favorite
baby.
movies of
Good
all
job.
time. So I think I probably accept it, but yeah, I don't know how often I would drive it. Depends on where I'm living, you know.
Yeah, that's fair. And I mean, you live in New York. I live in DC. We're both pretty close to public transit, so that's
Exactly,
the
yeah.
thing. Like if I lived in,
I would not leave this car near a public transit parking lot, though.
Hell no.
That's the main thing, though. Like, I don't care about public transit if it means I have to leave, an orange Lamborghini in a parking lot there. No, I would have to pay an extra for Secret Service to make sure it doesn't get broken into every 12 seconds.
Woof. All right, fellas, are you prepared?
Yes, we are ready for trivia.
Let's do trivia.
All right. I will do the little graphic transition. Ba-da-da, ba-da-da,
Trivia
ba-da-da.
time.
Trivia is here. Fellas, welcome to the Bid McPhee game. That's the wrong graphic. Welcome to the Bid McPhee game featuring Bid McPhee, a Hall of Famer and the last known player to play baseball without wearing a glove in the field.
How did that work? Is then that there would still be a lot of players in the field? Yeah, wouldn't it be like a group of them?
Yeah, but he was the last one to not wear a glove.
So like everyone else on his team was wearing a glove. He was just like, "Nah, I'm good, fam."
Correct.
Oh, fair enough. Okay.
So what he would do in the off seasons, like between games, he would like dip his hands in salt water for just hours on end to like toughen up his hands so he could field ground balls.
You know what? I respect that.
Eddie, he was a second baseman. Second base, various infield spots, but mainly at second base for the Reds. Well, the Cincinnati franchise in the 1900s.
It gives big energy to, the book of Mice and Men, the warden guy that always kept his like one hand in the glove that they said was always covered in Vaseline so it would stay soft for his wife. So like that. It gives the same kind of energy here.
Yeah, exactly the opposite. But we're playing the Bid McPhee game today. The rules, I will give you the category. There are 6 categories, and you will have the option to go first or to choose a category, or you may choose first and defer the selection of the category to your opponent. Each round, you bid a number based on how many answers that you think you can name that qualify for that criteria. If you can't match your opponent's bid, you say McPhee in honor of the Hall of Famer. When McPhee is called, the player must answer one answer for each number. So if you bid 6, you have to name 6 players. If you successfully convert, you get the points. If you do not, your opponent gets the points. First player to 20 wins, or if we run through all 6 categories. For example, if the category is NL East and Mac bids 1, Alex bids 2, Mac says McPhee, and Alex says the Braves and Marlins, Alex gets 2 points.
I'm very happy that your example gave me probably more points I'm going to get in this game.
Perhaps. Second category, for example, World Series winner since 2020. Mac bids 1, Alex bids 2, Mac says McPhee, Alex says Braves and Marlins, and Mac gets 2 points after the misfire. Do we understand?
Yes.
I think so.
It's basically a very elaborate BS game.
Sure. We have 6 categories for today: 2025 hitters, 2025 pitchers, 2025 awards, history with an exclamation point, international, and showtime. Alex, please choose a number between 1 and 100.
All right. Got to go with 24.
Okay. Mac.
16.
Answer is 13. Mac, you may choose. Do you want a category or do you like to go first?
I'll go first.
All right. Alex, please choose a category.
All right. Let's go 2025 hitters.
2025 hitters. Your category for today is 2025 American Leaguers with 30 stolen bases. Mac, please bid.
Okay, I'll start with 2.
All right, 2. Alex.
I can do 3.
Mac.
I'm gonna go 4.
All right, Alex.
All right, McPhee.
All right, Mac, name 4 players.
Okay, Bobby Witt Jr.
That is correct.
Josh Naylor. Julio Rodriguez.
Counter. Wait, slow down.
No, I messed up here.
Alex, I will.
Okay, here's the tough part. He had 30 cumulative steals.
But he did not do all of those in the American League. So he's not on my list. Alex, you may make a call. If you say American leaguers, you get the points. If you want to be fair to Mac, he can use that as like not a freebie. He still has to name 4 guys, but we can just ignore that because he did have 30 steals, just not all in the American.
Yeah. No, I'm going to be absolutely fair to Mac here. Like, I understand that. Yeah. No.
All right.
Okay.
So how many more guys do I have to name then?
You named Witt. You need 3 more.
Okay. Julio Rodriguez.
That is correct.
Randy Arozarena.
That is correct.
Oh, now I have to name 4th guy. Oops.
There's a reason why I did the McPhee here.
Yeah. Man, I was so confident. That's the thing. All right. Now I have to run through the list of teams. This is going to be the hard part.
The answer is not Michael Malone.
It is not Mike Malone. Yeah, correct.
What about William Dummy Hoy? Does he count?
Yeah, Dummy Hoy. The guy was on the tip of my tongue, and I forgot. I don't know if this guy stole 30 bases. Michael Garcia.
And Mac, that is incorrect. He is not on the list. Alex, you have 4 points.
Darn.
Congratulations.
Yeah, the one I was going to say at that point was Caballero.
Yeah, he led the league. I'm smart.
Yeah. My boy, Jose Caballero.
Yeah, Gunnar Henderson got to 30 last year.
Yeah, in order of steals, Caballero, Ramirez, Simpson, Witt, Robert, Story, Chisholm, Arozarena, Henderson, Julio. All right, fellas. Matt or Alex, since you got that category, what category would you like next?
So do I get the 4 points, right? Because
yes, you're up 4-0.
Okay, cool.
Yes. So you can either choose a category or opt to go first if you'd like.
All right, let's go Showtime.
All right, Showtime. Mac, you may bid first. Your question is, name the last 10 MLB The Show cover athletes. No special covers, so no Jackie Robinson.
Okay, I'll start at 1.
1. Alex.
Does it have to be in order is my question?
No.
All right, I can do 8.
8. All right, Mac.
9.
All right, Alex.
I can do 10.
All right, go for it.
All right.
Okay. All right, I'm going to be counting I'm going to try and go reverse chronological in this one.
All right,
here.
best of luck.
Current year is Aaron Judge.
Yep.
Here, the year before 24 was Vladimir Guerrero Jr.
Yep.
The year before that, 23 was 23 Shohei? I know Shohei is one of them.
Yep.
But was he 22 or was he 23?
Not answering that one.
Yeah, no. I'm I'm gonna tell you right now, I have a pen right here. I'm just gonna be drawing little things here for this.
I need to institute a time limit here.
Okay, no, fair enough. Okay. 20 okay, so I had sorry. Oh crap. I know I could do this to this thing. Okay, so for 2017 it's Griffey, then it is Aaron Judge again. It's Emily the Show 17, which is in the first of the 10, correct?
No.
Yes.
You're 11 away. Griffey's
that's
the
11 away?
Yes.
Okay, well then it is because I was Emily the Show 17 then was Griffey then. So then wait, no, wouldn't it be? No. So then I have to go from 16 then?
No, Griffey's not in the realm. It's not in the window here.
Yes, he is.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he is. 2017.
There were 3 cover athletes last year.
You are a butt.
Okay, now I get what you're saying.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Okay, I usually just refer to it as the one that ended up being the first one.
There's definitely 3.
Okay,
there's definitely 3.
Okay, so then that's my question then for this. So then it would be like the same kind of thing for earlier. Can I ask Mac, is that okay if I then restart this then?
Yes.
Okay. Then.
Okay.
For this year, then, it's Aaron Judge. Last year, it was Paul Skeens, Gunnar Henderson, and Ellie De La Cruz.
Yep.
The year before that was Vladimir Guerrero Jr. The year before that was Shohei Ohtani. The year before that was... Oh, crap. Who was 20? Fernando Tatis Jr. The year before that, 20 was Javi Baez. The year before that... 19 was Bryce Harper. The year before that was Aaron. It's the year before that was Aaron Judge.
Mac, congratulations. You get the points. You
What?
forgot
Yeah.
Jazz Chisholm Jr.
I was gonna say, yeah, you
Oh,
forgot Jazz.
I forgot that Jazz was a cover athlete. Ow!
Oh,
You like
that's unfortunate,
Jazz?
my friend.
Oh.
Ugh!
Tough scenes.
I had all of it.
You know, in your defense, I
Oh,
blanked
man.
on it first too, and then as you were going back through it in my head, I was like, "Oh wait, that's who it is."
I forgot. 'Cause
Unfortunate.
That was
Unfortunate.
21, right?
23,
He was
23.
between
Was
Shohei
23?
and Guerrero.
Shohei
Okay,
was
yeah,
20.
that was before
Yeah.
Guerrero. Oh my, you're right. That was 23 because Shohei was 22.
Oh boy. All right, Mac. You may choose the next category or opt to go first.
I'm gonna go history.
All right. History with an exclamation point. Alex, please start the bidding with Edgar Martinez Award winners since 2004, aka since Edgar retired. There are 11 answers here.
I don't feel anything anymore.
This is the best DH award.
No, I'm aware.
I'm just explaining it for our listeners.
Fair enough. Yeah, our listeners need to know that I have lost my entire will to exist after that one.
And Edgar Martinez,
okay, I
to
can
be clear, is not an answer here. So do not say Edgar. I will give you an L. All right. Alex,
I can do two.
2. All right, Mac.
3.
Alex.
I can do 4.
All right, Mac.
5.
Okay.
Alex.
McPhee.
Okay, Mac, you must name 5 players.
Okay. To be clear, there's just one award universally, right? Per year.
Correct.
All right. Shohei Ohtani.
Yep, he's won the last 5.
JD Martinez.
That is incorrect.
What? JD
That is
Martinez had to
incorrect.
have won it.
That is the wrong Martinez, my friend.
What?
It is Billy Butler, Nelson Cruz, Chris Davis, Vladimir Guerrero Sr.,
No
Aubrey
way.
Huff, Adam Lind, Victor Martinez, Kendrys Morales, Shohei Ohtani, David Ortiz, and Big Bear Marcelo Zuna.
Who decides on this award?
Someone.
You told JD
someone.
Martinez in 2018 did not win the Edgar Martinez award.
Because he split time between DH and outfield.
Come on, man. You got a Silver Slugger for DH that year. And
that was dumb. that one I think was dumb. I believe that year was Nelson Cruz. I'm quickly fact checking that on Baseball Reference.
okay.
no,
Now the score is 10-8.
18 actually was Chris Davis. Chris Davis.
Chris Davis. Okay.
Yeah, Mr. 247. So that was what, 5 points for Alex there?
That 4 or 5?
It was 4. It was 4.
4.
So it's now 10-8.
10-8.
All right, that works for me. All right, Alex, please choose a category.
All right, let's go.
Or go first if you want to.
Let's go with 2025 awards.
2025 awards. All right, Mac, you will begin the bidding. Name the 10 Silver Sluggers from last year in the National League.
2.
2. Alex.
3.
Mac.
4.
Alex.
5.
Mac.
6.
Alex.
McPhee, go for it.
All right, 6 players. Name them.
Okay. Hunter Goodman.
Yep. 1.
Pete Alonso.
2.
Ketel Marte.
3.
Geraldo Perdomo.
4.
Shohei Ohtani.
5.
How many do you mean? 6?
1 more.
6.
Yeah, 1 more.
Alec Burleson.
That is correct.
Utility man.
All right,
Well done.
that is correct. Alonso, Burleson, Carroll, Goodman, Machado, Marte, Ohtani, Perdomo, Soto, and Tucker. So, Mac, you lead 16-8.
All right.
And you may choose the next topic. You have pitchers and international left.
Let's go pitchers.
All right. Alex, please bid. Pitchers with 200 strikeouts in 2025. There are 12 of them.
Okay, 2.
2. Mac.
3.
Alex with 3.
4.
Mac with 4.
5.
Alex with 5.
McPhee, go for it.
All right. This is for the win.
Mm-hmm.
Mac, name 5 players with 200 strikeouts.
Okay. Tarek Skubal.
That is correct.
Paul Skeens.
That is correct.
Give me a second now. I gotta think. Now I have to think of what. Yoshi Yamamoto.
Yep, that is correct.
I think this guy got to 200. Oh no, definitely this guy got to 200. Garrett Crochet.
Yep, that is correct. And for the winner,
now I got to think again. Because there's a guy who I'm not sure he actually got to 200. But I know he threw a lot of innings. Oh God, no. I'm starting to doubt myself a little bit here. I'm not sure if this guy got to 200 actually, so I might be taking L here. Christopher Sanchez.
That is correct. Congratulations, Mac. You have won the first game, hopefully, of the Bid McPhee game, 21-8. The answers today: Hunter Brown, Dylan Cease, Garrett Crochet, Sonny Gray, Jesus Lizardo, Freddie Peralta, Carlos Rodon, Christopher Sanchez, Paul Skeen, Stark Scuba, Logan Webben, Yoshinobu Yamamoto. And if you're curious, the international category was named the Japanese-born players with 400 big league hits. Should be Nori Aoki, Kosuke Fukudome, Tatehito Iguchi, Akinori Iwamura, Kenji Jojima, Hideki Matsui, Kazuo Matsui, Shohei Ohtani, Dave Roberts. Yes, Dave Roberts.
Dave Roberts, born in Okinawa.
Ichiro and Seiya Suzuki. So congratulations to Mac. You have won the Bid McPhee game.
Yes, and that means I will be doing trivia next week. But yeah, that was an awesome.
That was awesome, Splash.
That was great.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All
right. It's time to end every show the same way, which is with the moment to ourselves. 60 seconds or so to talk about whatever the heck is on our minds. So who here wants to go first? All right, Splash. I will count you down in 3, 2, 1, go.
I have two things. First, the expanding the tournament to 76 teams is really stupid. Like you're just trying to get in these bum mid-major teams. You want to see Auburn in the tournament, I guess, or you want to see these teams that are missing the tournament. If you are the 40th best at-large team, you should not be in March Madness. Please be serious. This is particularly true in the women's side that is more chalk than like a 1950s classroom. Please be serious. I get it. It's cool for Dayton, I guess. It's cool for who's ever hosting these games. But I don't need to see more of these teams. Let them play in the NIT. There's nothing wrong with the NIT. There's nothing wrong with the other playoff formats in college basketball. Just let them be. Second, over our time off, I celebrated the 7th anniversary of winning my national championship for sports entertainment trivia. And that's really just a great moment. I thought a lot about it, that more so than like winning and like being the best in the country at something. I think that the special part was calling my parents afterwards and saying, like, I am a national champion. And a lot of that is thanks to you and your support. And, you know, my mom, we would drive to school. She would quiz me on things. We would talk about things. And it just, every little interaction, it was all support and love and care. And I'm just so appreciative of that. And, you know, in the scope of that, I won by 1 point. You know, if I had been a little bit slower on any question, it would have gone to a tiebreaker. Or if I wasn't, you know, confident in my answer. By the way, the final answer was about Juju Smith-Schuster and Antonio Brown. So the answer was wide receiver for the Pittsburgh Steelers, which I find to be deeply ironic as a Ravens fan. But just a really special moment. I'm grateful I was able to share it with my friends and family. And my grandmother was there. My uncle was there. Some of my best friends from high school were there. My parents weren't because it was in DC, but I called them immediately afterwards. That was just, it makes me happy to think about it. And that was just makes me really proud and thankful.
Yeah, that's a moment you'll hang on to forever. Absolutely. Obviously. I mean, when being the best at anything, really, I mean, that's something like no one should ever forget. And it remind me, was this Quiz Bowl or was it which?
This was National Sports Entertainment Trivia.
Oh, okay, yeah. Because
this was for History Bowl, but yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I remember section was Sports Entertainment Trivia.
Yeah, I remember there was like a strong contingent from my high school that was really into that type of stuff. Because I know a couple people who went to nationals for Academic Quiz Bowl in 2018, actually.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. That was the best part of high school. Was
yeah, it sounds like the type of thing. It sounds like the type of thing where if I had more time, I would have wanted to participate in.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Alex, do you want to go or?
Sure, why not?
All right. Your time starts in 3, 2, 1, go.
I miss knuckleballers. Like, straight up. Like, I love the knuckleball. That was one of the few pitches I really wanted to learn growing up just because it was so wacky, right? A pitch that is thrown with basically no spin, that is nearly unpredictable here, and people could throw it into their 40s and even into the 50s. Like, it made sense, right? Like, yes, it wasn't always going to be perfect, but not everyone's always going to have their fastball that day. Not everyone's going to have their slider that day. Not everyone's going to have their sinker that day. So I always hated the idea that a knuckleball pitch was always called as a gimmick, as opposed to being an actual like viable pitch, right? We have players like Phil Niekro and Tim Wakefield that truly revolutionized the knuckleball to being a true legendary level pitch, one where you actively had to prepare for it, just like you would actively prepare for any other kind of pitcher that you're going up against. But it was one that was not a gimmick, rather than it was a new way that forced hitters to think differently. And that's what I always hated about people talking about that the knuckleball should die or should stay dead. Here, I disagree, right? Like, it's the same kind of way as in saying that the shift needed to be banned. Here, it was so then you didn't have to think about it. I don't like the shift being banned because I think at that point, then, okay, find a way to beat it, right? Find a way to win. Here, like, yes, you have hitters that now have to change things up, but these are guys that are being paid millions upon millions upon millions of dollars to hit a baseball or to throw a baseball or to field a baseball. I don't think it's too hard to then ask these people that are the masters of their craft to be able to adjust how they play to get better results here. Just like how a knuckleball is not a pitch that has velocity. It is not a pitch that has spin rotation, but what does it have? It has movement like almost no other pitch in baseball can have, right? And I understand that, it's not an easy pitch to throw, but guess what? Throwing pitches at the major league level is not easy either. You can have a fastball, but if that thing, even if it comes at 99, has no life to it, no movement, it's still going to get spanked out of the ballpark easily. You can have a curveball, but if it doesn't have that bite to it, or a slider that doesn't have that bite to it, it's going to hang, and there's a reason why they call that one a hanger banger, because it just gets destroyed. Bring back the knuckleball. So that's one of the reasons why I like Matt Waldron, right? He's probably, I don't want to say he's the last, because I never want to say that it could be the last, but he's the most recent show that the knuckleball can at least work, right? And I believe there is also I'm trying to remember his name. I'm just losing it here. That ended up pitching for the Braves in their minor league that threw a knuckleball. I just lost his name. I'm sure Slash will remind me when we get back to everybody. There was a player that was a former infielder that learned a knuckleball.
David Fletcher?
Thank you very much. Yes, David Fletcher. Yes. Thank you, Splash. But seriously, bring the knuckleball back. It is so much fun to throw. It is so much fun to watch. And it's something that can be done. And we've seen it time and time again that players can, in fact, throw it to success. Matt Waldron is proof of that. Guys like Tim Wakefield are proof of that. Guys like Phil Niekro are like that. Just, there's a reason why I still throw the knuckleball. I throw it when I play in my little pickup games, just for fun. Is it the most devastating pitch out there? No. Is it going to get hit a bit? Yeah, I'm not a professional pitcher. But is it fun, and does it keep, a tradition that is one of the most undervalued pitches going? Absolutely it is.
Yeah, I'm all about the knuckleball, man.
Consider without the knuckleball, we wouldn't have some of Bob Uecker's greatest lines.
Exactly.
Yep, exactly.
R.A. Dickey, too. Yeah, former Mariner and Met.
R.A. Dickey, Tim Wakefield, He was great, obviously.
Former trivia answer, R.A. Dickey.
True.
Also, part-time knuckleballer George Kirby.
I was about to say, the most recent knuckleball throw was George Kirby, yeah.
I remember
he's thrown a grand total of 2 knuckleballs so far in the major leagues.
I remember when Brian Wilson tried coming back as a knuckleballer for a little bit. Didn't make it past the minors, but also I don't know if this guy's still in the Tiger system. But Kenny Serwa, who was In the he was in the Pioneer League when I was an intern. There was that knuckleball in the high 80s. I heard from people who saw it like on field level, who like played against him or coached against him, like it was the nastiest pitch they'd ever seen. Could he really control it? Not really, but anyway, someone count me down.
All right, your time begins in 3, 2, 1, begin.
Yeah, first off, like I said earlier, Hayes in the barn, flying North Carolina tomorrow. Nationals probably a lot of fun. We got 20 people going. I get to be on a relay with my sister. That's going to be pretty cool. We've never had the chance to do that because we're 8 years apart. And also club swimming, you don't get a lot of opportunities to swim men and women together on a relay. Other thing is, the Mets are a mess. I'm just going to say it. Going to the stadium on Sunday afternoon, it was kind of pretty dead. Citi Field is going to be a ghost town. They keep playing like this. I'm assuming the nightcap was. I thought about staying for the nightcap, then seeing them lose in the fashion they did in game 1. I couldn't bear to stomach it. It's hard to watch right now. It's just, with everything else going on in the sports world right now, I just don't have a lot of energy to watch the Mets. It's impossible. I'm not saying that like I'm not just gonna forget about them for the rest of the year. Obviously, I'm going to still tune in. It's just right now, it's a bad product. I'm just gonna say it. Maybe this summer the team will wake up. Maybe this summer team will look different. But yep, just my 2 cents. It's a mess, and there probably isn't an immediate fix. So we'll see what happens. Yeah. Anyways, that's it for our show today. Make sure to follow all of us on Twitter. Follow the main account at LAR_baseball. Follow Alex at the Sports Guy 242. Follow Splash at Mr. Splashman 19. Follow myself at Mathias_A_K. Make sure to subscribe to us on YouTube. Leave a like, leave a comment. Maybe you disagree with everything we just said. Let us know. Leave us a 5-star review on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen to us. Make sure to follow us. Make sure to follow us on Instagram too, by the way, at LAR_baseball. We'll be pumping out content there too. So for all of us at Losses of Replacement, thank you all for listening. Stay safe, and I hope to see you all real soon. Thank you.
Go crazy, folks!